Welcome to TechFluence Season 2 2024. I'm delighted and we are delighted to have Mr. Vivek Sridhar, CTO, Microsoft for Startups with us today. How has been the journey we have understood from the talk with the students earlier in the day? We have few questions that the students had us because of the short time in the session we could not cover up, and we'll discuss it out here. This would help students have that idea about things that bug them a lot. They are always behind us asking perspectives from industry that how they need to look at the ecosystem of startup and the challenges that they face. I'll just throw out some questions to you. You being the expert would be able to answer them easily. I understand that, and some of those questions are very basics, I would say, but yes, for every entrepreneur, that's an important one.
Looking forward to those questions.
So the first one is, sir, as a CTO at Microsoft Startup, what initiatives is Microsoft undertaking to support and empower emerging startups, particularly in the field of AI and emerging technology?
So one of the things which we have as part of the startup program is called Founders Hub program, and we support anyone who has an idea. So anyone who comes to us with an idea, we give him credits, him or her credit, and they can take their startup from ideation to building it and to scaling it, and we are in that journey. So we start with $1,000 and we go up until 150K worth of credits. So people can build top of that, and on top of that, we just don't give credits. It's also about the support which we provide. There is mentorship support. We have boot camps which we run where they get to hear from Microsoft's product development team, go-to-market team who will come to those boot camps and explain them how to build a go-to-market plan and strategy. Not only that, and also we have tech support. Of course, Microsoft is heavy on tech, and they will support you from a tech perspective. And then they have access to CTOs like us, where they can have in-depth conversations with their architecture, specifically AI architecture, because we are more focused on AI architectures as well. That's one of the things which they get to work with us, and a lot of support not only from Azure credits but also partner credits which we have like GitHub, Stripe, and Miro, where you can also build on top of them. Those are the support which you have for startup ecosystem.
Next one, sir, which is again related to AI because that's the buzzword nowadays. How do you see the current landscape of AI adoption among startups, and what are the key challenges they are facing in implementing AI-driven solutions?
India is becoming AI hub, and we are at a very poised situation right now, because if you see, nobody thought there will be a product which will be against the big tech. Suddenly there is a product against them, right? If you see Perplexity. Which has come, which is equivalent to what is Google does, right? So this is, nobody had envisioned that, and we are in a right situation where we can build next Microsoft, Google's from India, and that is where AI comes in to help. And India ecosystem is growing, and this is the right time to build AI startup. And there are challenges, of course. There are challenges from access to technology, the GPUs. There are issues with where big tech can come up with your competing product. That is the ecosystem, right? So it is easier to bring down your technology. So we have to help these startups to make sure they have the right IP, right market, right thing, so that they will be able to sustain and also grow in this next big AI fight.
So as you have been a startup founder yourself, the next question guts around that. What advice you would give to startups looking to leverage Microsoft resources platform to accelerate their growth?
So one of the things which we provide from a startup perspective is, again, as I told, Founders Hub. Within that Founders Hub ecosystem, you have access to mentors, you have access to different events which we do, and you get access to some of the, in those events, you get access to VCs and other things, and you get a platform to provide exposure to your startup. Again, access to us, which is to help you from architecture perspective. So those are the areas where we definitely help the startups. We are also working in terms of building some kind of PR for the startups who are part of our Founders Hub, right? So PR is basically, we just launched called Coffee Table Book with 100 amazing startups from India, who are AI startups from India, and this was launched in February. It's a proper book talking about each startup and what they have achieved specifically from India. So it was nice to see Coffee Table Book, and it will be under circulation in a lot of places and it is an exposure opportunity for the startup.
I'll definitely like to grab hands on that. Moving from with the perspective of industry to the perspective of students, given your experience with both as a startup founder, as an investor, what are the critical factors you look for when you evaluate early age startups for investment potential or mentoring them maybe?
One of the things which I would look at is the idea, and how is the market for that idea. It's not just just about having that idea, whether that idea has a market or not, and definitely people behind it. Because any person who can execute stuff, he can execute the idea for sure. And market does matter, but sometimes it is always about creating that market as well. They would create that market. One of the examples which I can give you is, we never heard about electric scooters unless and until Ola came and created that market, right? So similarly, the person can create those markets. So if you can see such kind of people who are building something or coming up with ideas, I think that's the best way to go and invest in those kind of startups.
Okay, sir. For students with ambition of startup ideas, what advice would you offer in terms of getting started and overcoming the initial challenges of launching a tech-based venture?
There are a bunch of challenges. As I told you, idea validation is the biggest challenge. You have an idea and you have to go and validate it, and that's where I think LPU's startup ecosystem which you are building, entrepreneurial coaches where you can go and talk to them and figure it out. That's one of the best thing which you can expect from a college. And obviously there are challenges in terms of money to invest and how much you should invest for just to build an MVP, and those kind of challenges are always there. But you should always look into the idea and what are the things required to build it, have them built in the college itself before you even graduate, so that even if it fails, it fails. You will understand a lot of things from the failure, and probably when you go out, you can obviously build a better product out of the same idea. Probably the same idea, maybe some changes in the idea, and you go back and build something different. So the challenges are various, but what I suggest is first focus on the idea and the market, and then see if you can get some kind of funding for that. Look for funding. There are people who are really interested in funding early stage startups and other things, and going after these events, which is networking events, startup community events, where you go and meet a different set of people. Maybe your idea might be different. You can pivot there and work with them or collaborate with them and maybe build a complete different thing. So challenges are there, but you can obviously overcome through college itself.
So college is the right place to start, and that's you have it from him right away. So what are the practical steps that students can take while in university to lay the groundwork for their future tech startup, such as building a network, acquiring relevant skills, conducting market research? As you've already answered a lot of it, my point would be how the students at the university look at this networking, because some of the times they do not have the access. So as you said, they participate in community events and all, where they can find out this is the right kind of community event that I should.
So one of the things is try and follow certain startup community leaders itself, see which are the events which are happening, and some of the events are online also. For networking, you will definitely have to go to those events to build that network, but for learning purpose, you can obviously attend online events which are there. It's not just about that. Probably even the college can provide all these kind of help in terms of, like you said, you help in building pitch documents, you help building the initial idea validation, and then building pitch documents, and even create an event or a platform for students to come and pitch, and have some of the angel investors sitting in front of them and listening to their pitches, and probably bring in funds for them. These things definitely will help in terms of growth and building that community and networking stuff. But you have to go out. If you want to network, you have to go out. You have to meet people. You have to find at least identify which is the big event which is happening, and probably be there. That's my advice. So, just attend. You won't lose anything. You will learn.
Just go there. See what other people are doing. Approach them. Talk to them, and you might get some new ideas. True. Might be add on to your idea. Might be understand where you are going a bit hazy, and then you can correct it. Looking ahead, what do you envision the next breakthrough or innovation that disrupt the tech industry, and how can startups prepare to capitalize on it?
So from a technical perspective, I see small language models which are becoming literally stronger day by day, and definitely it is going to play a big role, because the infrastructure needed for large language model is being cut down, and small language model can solve certain problems. As of now, it is not production ready, but I will in some days. Technically is that, but industry wise, I see healthcare and agriculture industry is going to be two different industries where AI is going to play a big role, even though we are not there yet in AI healthcare specifically, because there is a human intervention but I'm sure that healthcare will be one of the biggest things. AI is going to play a big role, and which is required, because if you see the world, right, from India to Africa to a lot of other places, it's not very easily accessible, so AI can give you that accessibility.
Coming to the last part of it, what aspects of the LPU ecosystems or the students' enthusiasm that stood out to you, and how do you believe platforms like LPU can contribute to fostering innovations and entrepreneurships among the students?
Yeah, I spoke bit by bit about it, but one of the things which I feel is I want to be a student again. After seeing the campus, I want to come back and join college and go through that 4 years again, so that you can have fun. But yeah, leaving the jokes apart, there are a bunch of things which I noticed is that students were freely asking questions. They were not bound by like what would lecturers think and different things, which I see in some of the colleges where I visit. They get scared to ask questions in front of their lecturers, but here it was open and free, and they had a lot more questions to ask than we just ran out of time. And what I see is you are bringing in industry experts into the college, making sure that they are interacting with the students. This is something was missing in our times and missing in a lot of colleges as well, where industry connect is very important. Sometimes when lecturers tell the same thing, students won't listen, but when somebody from industry, they come and tell, do this, that's something which students usually accepted, and yeah, he's right, which is what their professors and lecturers are talking about. But that is one thing which I see you're encouraging that, and I'm super excited to see your startup program trying your best to make sure there is an ecosystem built within the campus where people are getting into building startups, and they can fail here, and from the top level the interest is there for people to build startups within the campus, and a lot of support you're giving them, which is very...
Last, a very simple one. How has been your trip to Punjab? Because I know it's your first trip out here. How did you like Punjab?
Naan and Shahi Paneer, the best. Yeah.
Thank you for being with us and giving out your time for the students for this TechFluence 2024 season 2.
Thank you very much.